Well, yeah, I've got a few health issues to overcome. And number one, you're staring at it right now. I've had to get myself a new pair of goggles. I used to use something called bowl goggles, B-O-L-L-E. Went for a ride about a week ago, and I put them down. I couldn't find them, so that was that. So I've had to get another pair of eye protectors. So I saw these over glasses. They wrap round, and they're supposed to sort of keep the wind out to a degree. They're not quite. I don't think I can feel a slight amount more draft with these around my left eye than I could with the other goggles. But the reason why I got to wear them, there's been a whole load of new subscribers to the channel recently, and you won't know. So the reason, it goes back a long way, but many years ago I had surgery to remove a type of brain tumour, and when they took it out, it paralysed my face, my left part of my face. So I got no blink reflex, which is a bloody nuisance. Can you imagine not being able to blink your eye, and can you imagine how sore it becomes after a while? Well, for me, I get a sore eye, but not as sore as what you lot would get it, because when they damage the nerve taking the tumour out, they also damage the nerve which takes sensation from the eye, so I can't feel my eye as much as perhaps you lot can. So when it's getting sore, I don't know it's getting sore until it gets really bad. So I got to protect it, and that's the reason why I'm wearing the goggles. And I'm out on this ride today to just test them out. Done 5 miles so far, 6 miles almost actually, into the wind, and they're okay. How they're faring in the cold weather is another matter. The other thing is comfort. Really, you get to see a lot of nature when you're on a bicycle. Really is a good way to get out and experience nature in the countryside. But yeah, comfort. And I noticed the last few rides, I don't film everything, but the last few rides, sun's over there, move the camera for the sun. The last few rides have been either on my recumbent trike, which is exceptionally comfortable, or on my MTB, which has got lovely fat tyres, and because it's got those tyres, it absorbs the bumps. Now what I did with my gravel bike, my Tempest, well, I realised I hadn't been riding it much, and a few weeks ago I had a whole rake of punctures on the old gravel tyres, and I thought, oh, I've had enough of this, and so I went and swapped them out for some I think they're called Schwalbly marathon tyres, which are brilliant tyres. There's nothing wrong with them tyres at all, but you have to inflate them quite hard, and some of that's sort of 95 pound per square inch, and they give you a really fast ride. They roll really well, and so when I was going out with my friends Charles and Chris and Dave, I could keep up with them quite easy. But the big downside with those tyres, I'm getting a jarred about all over the place, really getting knocked around, and I've got a little bit of a lower back issue going on, and the last couple of years on and off I've been suffering with a bit of sciatica, and it wasn't helping things. Nice out here, isn't it? Oh yeah. I think I'm going to go up there. Yeah, a little track. I know where this leads to. I'm heading out towards Cricklade. I'd love to live out here. No neighbours, that would suit me fine. Right. This is what I want. National Cycle Network 45. So I'm cycling along this lovely trackway. Now it used to be a railway. Was it a railway or no, possibly a canal. I think it was a canal. I'm not sure. Might have been a railway. Might have been both. Heading towards Cricklade. So the long and the short of it is that I chose the comfortable option, went with the fat tyres or the trike, which is beautiful unless you haven't ridden one. But I decided I would put the gravel tyres back on the gravel bike. I wonder what's up here. I got a feeling this is the line of the old railway line, I think. So I'll just stop. Just going to take on some water in a minute, but to show you the bike now, it looks so much better, I think, with the bigger tyres on. And I've inflated them to 40 psi. They're 700 by 40C tyres, and they're a much nicer ride. So albeit slower, but you know, I got to do me, haven't I? I'm not a fast cyclist, and with these tyres, I can go virtually anywhere I can go on an MTB. And that chain, I'm on nearly 3,000 miles since I got that bike, and I'm on the original chain. Everything's original on it, and there's nowhere. I check it every time I clean and lube the chain. I use wet lube, and I've got one of those devices where I spin the chain round and it cleans the chain. You can see I just recently cleaned the chain before I came out, and it's immaculate. Nowhere on the chain after 3,000 miles. Partly that's probably because I'm not putting an awful lot of power down through the drive chain, so I don't really consider myself a strong cyclist. You know, my average speeds are sort of anywhere from 10 to 12 miles an hour generally. If I push a bit, I can probably average about 14. But I don't tend to go fast. I just bumble along on the thing. Really, not a fast cyclist. But it's a much more smoother, comfortable ride when you've got the tyres inflated to about 35-40 psi. And I got a good decent balloonage on those tyres. Just how much depth there is to them, you know, and they absorb all those little shocks. No, I'm not getting any younger. You go back to when I was born, I mean, that's nearly a whole lifetime away. So, yeah, oh dear. But anyway, I like it like this. So riding out slow and steady, taking in the views is the way forward for me. You can keep your high pressure tyres and your fast rolling and cycling fast, You can keep that for yourself, that's not for me. I'm just going to plod on slowly from now on my nice bouncy soft tyres. Yeah, nice and soft. This was originally the front tyre and this was the back tyre, so I swapped them around. This one was wearing down quite bad, so hopefully I'll get a bit more mileage out of those, and when I come to replace these in a short while, I don't know what I'll get, but anyway, yeah, probably something similar I'd have thought. When you see a path like that, doesn't it just want you to go and ride along it? That is just a lovely view. I've got it all to myself. I've not met a soul. So yeah, I come to the end of this little path, National Cycle Network. Look, no motorbikes, no motorbikes. So that's the other good thing about cycling. I think you get to see a whole lot more, to be honest with you. I love cycling, love motorcycling too. But for me, cycling probably is the better option. I'm never going to pack up motorcycling, though, don't worry about that. But yeah, I'm just entering into Cricklade. And it says it's the first town on the Thames, River Thames, and it's a Saxon town. So I think there's some old Saxon places we can go and see. I'm just looking at the map here. It shows us where we are. Look. There. We're going to be coming into the high street this way, and I think down here there's some things worth looking at. So we may have a little look. I pretty much managed to confirm to myself that I was riding along an old railway. Because just as I get into Cricklade, there's a sign here saying Cricklade Railway Station. So there you are, and that's what it once looked like. Love the old Cricklade sign. Nice one, Cricklade. I'm going to turn off here. Have a look up Church Lane. Yeah. Never been to Cricklade Church before. That's quite good, isn't it? Look at that. That is old. Look at this magnificent church. Absolutely magnificent. You can see it from miles off. I don't know if the camera conveys the sense of magnitude of the church and its tower. But I'll tell you what, it's an impressive structure, that. This must have been a very important place back in the past. When you consider they went all to the effort, there's probably a Saxon church here before this one. This is probably a Norman church, I'd have thought. But look, it's a massive thing, massive undertaking. It's got flying buttresses. Look at that. I do know a little bit about church architecture. That's called a flying buttress. And I genuinely didn't expect to be walking beneath a flying buttress today. That's quite something, really. I don't know how well you can see this, but this tomb, it had railings all the way around it, and you can see where the stubs are. They were cut off, and I think that happened during the First or Second World War. They needed all the metal they could get, so they cut all the railings off and used it to make whatever it was they needed to make for the war effort. No doubt they melted the metal down and made it into rifles, I expect. Well, there certainly isn't no getting into this church. That's padlocked up, look. I'm back out by the high street now, by the clock. Very famous old clock, that. This is the lower part of the high street. So I didn't film it, but just gone past another little church. This is called Rectory Lane. Tiny little cottages. More old cottages. The cottages down this end of the high street, they look older. And there's something here which says North Wall. I know this is a little a bit of information about the history of Cricklade, and I think there is an old North Wall we can go and see. Yeah, it looks like the road up there is called North Wall, but this is actually the River Thames. There you go, look. Definitely the River Thames. And this is the first town up on the upper reaches of the Thames, and obviously the last town is London, I suppose. I just found out something interesting about Cricklade. Once upon a time it was the second largest town in England, and that was because the Romans established Cirencester as their main, it became one of their main towns, and then they needed a town close by near a river source so they could get transport via river, and that place was Cricklade, so Cricklade became the frontier town on the river. I just moved out of the town now and I saw this image here, look. Honestly, what must our dogs think of us? But on a more serious, can you call it serious? Not really. On a different note, I'm outside of the town of, the Saxon town, the frontier town of Cricklade now. Cycled past the old priory. There was a priory here and bits of it still remain after the dissolution of the monasteries by King Henry VIII. But when you come out of Cricklade, you come to North Meadow Nature Reserve. I'm just looking across it now, and it's famous for its snake's head fritillaries. But maybe that's a subject for another video. Anyway, yeah, it's a very peaceful area, but we are, I say peaceful, tongue-in-cheek, because we are heavily polluted in the 20th century by motor vehicles. Look at these rabbits, just safely browsing, look. I planned this ride so that I'd head out into the wind, and then further on I'd get wind assistance on the way back. So we're not quite got wind on our back at the moment, we're going crosswind now, but I'm still getting along at a good old pace. Well, that's it. Just in Kempsford now. Going past the old George. I think it's the George, yeah it is. The George pub in Kempsford. And talking of pubs reminds me. When I get home, I've got some beer waiting for me. And some lovely lemonade. So I think I'm going to fancy myself a nice cold shandy. Care of Doug. Before I do, we've got another fantastic church to look at. God, look at this cracking church. Absolutely fantastic. This is Kempsford. So this is St Mary's Church. This is St Mary's Church in Kempsford. Another fantastic building. How they built these churches, when you think about it, getting on for 800 years or more. How the hell did they do it all by hand? Incredible, really. Well, that's it. Lovely visit to St Mary's Church in Kempsford. But unfortunately, like a lot of the churches, it was locked. Couldn't get into it, unfortunately. And it looked like a really impressive church as well. So anyway, got this lovely ride along this quiet backwater of a road. A few more to run now, get home. As I say, I'll get that nice cold shandy. Well, we're back home now, and we're going to have that nice cold shandy, care of Doug. Thanks for this, Doug. He sent me some, gave me some of these Arkles bottled beers. He's not been very well. He's injured himself, so hopefully he'll be back to full fitness soon. So Doug, when you're feeling better and you're up to it, let us know. We'll go out for a ride. Both bicycle and motorcycle. Whew, that was a hot ride. I could do with this. Cheers. Do you want one as well?
Yeah, okay, go on, have another day one then.
Yeah, have the rest of the shandy if you want.
Later.
It's going down well. See you on the next one.